Hey, good morning. Happy Thursday. Guess where you're going? Whoop. I'm going to talk to you this morning about something somebody asked me to talk about. And my phone did mess up, and there's a whole little segment here that it didn't record at all, and I don't know why. I think maybe when I put it in the cup holder, one of the buttons got pushed by the side of the cup holder or something. Anyway, somebody asked me to give my thoughts on being a single parent. There's a subscriber who has recently found themselves in that position and wanted me to just give my thoughts on being a single parent. Okay, the video stopped, and I'm not really sure why it did, unless I just hit a button or something. I'm not really sure. I'm going to see if it keeps recording. My phone is being weird this morning, and I'm not sure why. So I don't know where it cut off, but everybody has a different preconceived notion, I guess. When you say the term single parent, everybody thinks something different about it. And it was something that was definitely frowned upon in the past. On my dad's side of the family, their first ancestor who came to this country back around 1900 came here, a lone teenage girl who was unmarried and pregnant. Now, back then, to be an unwed mother you were like a second-class citizen, and she was treated that way. She was treated like dirt. I mean, she spent her whole life, she had a very hard life. She spent her life like cleaning houses and taking in laundry, and she had no education, no nothing, and she came here by herself. They just put her on a boat and sent her off. So it's very different back then to be a single parent. I don't know how she did it, but it was very tough from what I understand. Her life was very hard. I don't think most single parents set out with the goal of being a single parent. I know I didn't. It's not like I woke up one day and said, you know what would be awesome? It would be really awesome if I had two kids that I raised with no help and away from, close family, to help me out. And that would be so cool to spend years doing that. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to get started on that right away. Let's go get knocked up and go do that. No, that's not really. And I don't want to get into personal details about my life, but, well, I mean, I do, but I don't want to get too personal with it. But let's just say I did what I had to do, because sometimes you could marry somebody and think you know them, but after you get married, you come to find out that they're not who you thought they were. And like, they could be wearing a mask and it drops after you say I do. Yeah, that kind of thing. And you might have deluded yourself for years and thought, well, things will get better. It's all right. If I just try a little harder, if I just do a little more, things will be like they used to be, and everything will be okay. But then one day you finally just, you can't deny it anymore, and you realize, yeah, okay, maybe things are not okay. And that happened for me when I was about 2 months pregnant. And I realized things escalated after I told him I was pregnant with our second child, and things escalated at that point, and I realized that something had to happen. Anyway, long story short, I went through the rest of that pregnancy with a 4-year-old, 3/4-year-old there by myself. But it was better raising kids. I knew that it would be better for the kids. It was better for me. Raising them without that person was better for all three of us. And it's what had to be done. I've never second-guessed that decision. I've never regretted it. I know I did the right thing. But I am not a man basher. I don't hate men. I have been called a man hater for talking about that marriage, and I don't hate men at all. I love men, and I realize that not every man is the same. Of course I know that. You can't lump everybody into a group like that. It's ridiculous, because I see men do it to women too. They bash women because they had a bad experience with one or whatever, so they hate all women. Well, that's you're missing out, and that's really messed up. But you know, whatever, you can have whatever opinion you want to have. I think it's kind of lazy to lump everybody in a group like that and think that everybody's the same, but whatever. So I will tell you now, I just want to say, if you think what you see on social media with you know, moms or whoever raising kids by themselves, if you think that it's all picture perfect moments and everything is awesome and, you know, it's even glamorous or whatever, it's not. It is hard. It's very stressful. It's expensive. It will take all of your time. It will take all of your money. It will take all of your energy. Now, I don't regret what I did. I would do it again. If I were in that situation, I'd do the exact same thing. I don't regret what I did in my situation. But do I think it's awesome to be a single parent? It's hard. It is very hard. And it's not something you should aspire to, in my opinion. I really believe kids need two parents. They need two parents. They're better off. I mean, if you just look at the statistics, they are better off in pretty much every way if they have two parents. But I also understand sometimes that's not possible. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But it's going to be hard. It is not going to be easy. And somebody asked me to talk about, you know, how do you handle being a single mom? You take it one day at a time. I mean, you do what you have to do every day. You try to make the best decisions and do the best thing you can for your kids every day. You're going to screw up. You're going to do the wrong thing. You're going to say the wrong thing, and you're going to beat yourself up over it. Just try to do better next time. And do not hesitate to apologize to your children. I have had to apologize to both of my kids more than once. If you lose your cool and, you know, you snap at them or you yell at them or, you know, you make a rash decision based on your feelings at the moment, do not hesitate to tell your kids, hey, I'm sorry. You know, I screwed up. That was not your fault. I took that out on you, and that was not fair. And I am very sorry that I did that. I'm going to try very hard to not do that again. Let them know that you are human. You do make mistakes, but you can also own up to your mistakes, and you can apologize for them and try to make up for your mistakes. It means a lot. I can remember my mom doing that with me a couple times when I was a kid, and she and my dad were, I don't know if they were not doing well or whatever, and she took it, just basically started screaming at me over something that I had nothing to do with, and later she did come back and apologize to me for that. And I think that was hard for her to do, and I appreciated her doing that. So yes, I have apologized to my kids. You know, but just try to do the best you can. Don't be afraid to ask people in your life for help, because you're going to need it. Kids get sick a lot, and I tell you, that was one of the toughest things for me, was, you know, having a full-time job and nobody to really help me with them, because I don't have any family here. I don't have any family anywhere near here, and I didn't really have anybody in a position to help me with them. Fortunately, though, I found a lady who could help me. Like, you know, if the kids had a little smidge of a temperature, like they're not sick, but if their temperature was over 99.1, they couldn't go to daycare. So there were days where they would have a little bit of a fever, and I couldn't take, like, I can't take a whole day off work to stay home with them again. But she would, and I would pay her to take them, and it was actually a wonderful thing for me and her. It helped her make a little extra money. It helped me out. You know, it was really good. So don't be afraid to ask for help when you need to. Sorry, I had to stop for a second. Raising kids is hard under, you know, ideal circumstances. Even if you have a loving marriage or whatever you have going on for you, it's not, you know, life is hard. Whether you have kids or not, life can be hard sometimes. Life comes with all kinds of crazy challenges. You're going to have to deal with stuff that's bad, that it's not your fault. You know, life is just not fair sometimes. And it's that way for everybody. But if you find yourself in a situation where you are now a single parent, single mom, single dad, whatever, because there are single dads out there too, plenty of them, for, you know, a million different reasons. Just go easy on yourself. Don't beat yourself up too much. You are going to make mistakes. You are going to screw up. Well, whether you're a single parent or not, if you're raising kids, you're going to screw up. You're going to make bad decisions. You're going to do and say things you shouldn't. Just try to learn from that, and going forward, just try not to do it again is all I really know to tell you. If you are not good at managing money, that might be something you want to work on. There are all kinds of videos out there on learning to budget and manage your money, because especially if you're living on one income, especially, you're gonna have to be able to do that. I got no support at all for years, and then when I did start getting any child support, it was only $50 a month, and that was it. He wasn't helping pay for anything else. I was on my own 100%, except for that $50 a month, and then it was raised to $145 a month, and that's all he pays, and that's all he's ever paid. And so it's not easy, but you have to learn to make do with what you got, and just listen to your kids, spend time with them as much as you can. That's going to mean more to them than anything you can buy them. Just spend time with them, play with them, love your kids, let them know how much they mean to you. Don't get caught up in the drama, if you have drama. I mean, maybe you don't. I hope you don't. Don't get caught up in the bullshit and the drama with the other parent, because sometimes that does happen, and trust me, I know all about that. I spent 13 years in and out of court with CPS workers doing a conga line through my home the entire time, because there was always some CPS report coming in or going out, or, oh my God, it was just, horrible. Don't get so caught up in that you forget the thing that matters the most is the kids. That other parent, don't focus all your time and energy on them. And that is very easy to do if it is a very toxic situation. They want all your attention, and they will do anything to keep getting it, especially if you had the audacity to leave a bad situation. How dare you do that? I'll decide when this marriage is over, not you. They may have literally said that to you. And that's really something. But yeah, some people feel like, no, you don't have the right to end this marriage. I'll end it when it's time to end it. You don't get to decide that. Don't let them dictate your future. But the kids are what matters most. You need to make sure they're as okay as they can be. Don't worry about that other parent. Screw them. Focus on the kids. Take care of them. I don't really have a ton of advice to offer you. Just know that it is going to be hard. That's why I wouldn't recommend that anyone seek out single parenthood. It's not, I don't know. I mean, it's hard. It is really hard. And it's hard on your kids. It's hard, but I don't think most single parents meant to end up that way. But I will also say this. Be very careful who you have kids with. Seriously, be very careful who you have kids with, because once you have a child with someone, you are going to be tied to them for the rest of your life. It's not just the first 18 years. It's later. It's going to be weddings, funerals, graduations, birthday parties, baby showers. It's going to be, you will have this person in your life forever. This person they will just be right there. You're not going to get rid of them once that kid turns 18. More than likely, they will continue to be a part of your life. So I'm just saying, just be very careful who you have a kid with. Of course, you never know. I mean, somebody, you can think you know somebody. Damn, a rock just hit my car. You can think you know somebody, but I thought I knew this person. No, apparently not. And I deluded myself into thinking that it was going to be all right, but long story short, it wasn't. But I wouldn't change anything about that, because I have two great kids. I don't regret that at all. They are the best thing that came out of that marriage. But am I sad it's over? Hell no. Not a bit. I wish him well. I'm just glad he's not around me. I want him to go live his life and be whatever he wants to be the best him he can be. But I'm very glad he is not doing it around me. That's all. I don't hate anybody. I don't hate him. I don't hate anyone, because I'm not going to spend my time and energy on it. Don't get caught up in it. If you have a bad relationship with that person, try your best to make it better. If you can't make it better, at least you know you tried. It will benefit you, it will benefit them, it will benefit the children if you can have at least a civil relationship with that person. And trust me, I know sometimes that's just not possible, because they don't want it. The other party doesn't want a civil relationship. They like the turmoil, they like the drama. And if you have a civil relationship, all the drama goes away, and they don't want that. Well, with people like that, you have to just try to stay away from them as much as possible, because you're not going to change them. They're not going to change. It's always going to be bad. So try to limit your exposure to them. Don't let them get a rise out of you, because that's what they want. They want you to get upset. They want you to be mad. They want you to explode so they can go, see, look how unstable this person is. Look how crazy she is. I told you she was psycho. But they never want to talk about what made you explode in the first place. No, that's just their excuse to call you crazy. Don't get caught up in that shit. Hot damn, it's one of the cars from the Cars movie. A loud car. So, I don't have a lot of sage advice for single parents. I really don't. My thoughts are with you. I know it's hard, but it's not going to be forever. Your kids are going to grow up way faster than you think they are. Enjoy your time with them. I know it seems like, when they're in diapers or they're potty training and they're little, it seems like, oh my God, it's never, and it seems like it drags on forever, but trust me, you snap your fingers, they're going to be in high school. It goes that fast. Enjoy your time with them. Try not to let the stress and the strain of everything else ruin that. Enjoy your time with them as much as you can. Go do fun stuff with them. Go to the park. Spend time doing things that you enjoy doing and they enjoy doing, because they're going to grow up faster than you think. Yeah, that's really all I know to say. Take it one day at a time. Take it 1 hour at a time sometimes. Like, that's all you can do. Be there for them. Don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it, because you will need it. You're not Superman. You're not Wonder Woman. You can't do everything by yourself. It's okay to ask for help. There's nothing wrong with that. And just do the best you can every single day. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. It is a long journey. And it's going to be tough. Parts of it are going to be very tough. And if you need to go cry in your car or go in your room and cry, go do it. But clean yourself up, get up, and get back at it. Don't drag your kids into the drama if you can help it. If there is drama, don't drag the kids into it. Try to keep them out of it as much as you can. And do not badmouth the other parent to your children. Don't. I tried very hard not to do that. But I was not perfect. I did badmouth him to them on occasion, and I apologize to them for that. Keep them out of it. Yeah, don't, even if they talk shit about you every 5 seconds to the kids, don't do it. Try not to do that. Because it doesn't benefit anybody. You can think, well, they need to know what the other parent is like. If the other parent is a shitbag, trust me, the children will know. They will figure that out. You don't need to tell them. They will. If the other parent sucks, the kids are going to figure it out on their own. They don't need you to tell them. Kids are smart. They can figure shit out. Be there for your kids as much as you can. Take care of your children. Your children come first too. That's another thing that I know it sounds like a no-brainer, but your children come first. That your days of being selfish and worrying about yourself, those days are over, at least for this point. At this point, your children matter more than whatever is going on with you. I mean, you have to take care of yourself. That is important. You have to take care of yourself so you can be there for them. But you need to think about their needs too. That's why I say it's hard. That's the hard part, is that you have to take care of yourself and them. And you may not have anybody who's got your back. You may be on your own, and I know what that feels like. It's very scary and it's very stressful. Also, think about doing a will. If something happens to you, you need to make plans for what would happen to your children. I have done that. I did it years ago. You need to talk to your family and friends. If something happens to me, I need to know who will step up and be there for these kids. A lot of parents don't do that because it's kind of morbid. You don't want to think about it, but plan in case, you know, God forbid something happens to you. You need to make plans for your children. You need to know that they're going to be okay if something happens to you, because, I mean, you could be driving home today and get wiped out by a Mack truck. I don't know. I mean, I hope not, but, you know, things happen. And if you care about your kids, you need to care about what would happen to them if you're no longer here anymore. So plan ahead for that. Maybe get a life insurance policy if you can, just to have a little bit of money there. You know, pick a beneficiary that you trust. If your kids are under 18, know that, you know, that way at least there will be a little bit of something for them after you're gone. Plan ahead for your children if something happens to you. Too many parents don't do that. I have done that. I have made arrangements and everything for my kids. So if something happens to me, they're going to be all right. I want to add one more thing, and I thought about this after the fact. This is Thursday night, and I've been through my whole day. But I wanted to mention one more thing about being a single parent that you may need to think about depending on your situation. If you have not been a single parent up to this point, you may not realize what that's going to mean for you as far as the amount of things you're going to have to be responsible for. Now, I don't know how involved the other parent is, if at all, in your situation. You could be in a situation where you are now going to be responsible of taking care of everything, whether it's buying groceries, paying bills, mowing the yard, getting the car fixed, replacing air filters in the house. You know, you may be on deck for all of that now. So that's another thing you're going to have to keep in mind, is that another part of being a single parent is, depending on your situation, you may be the one in charge of all that from here on out. So for me, it wasn't a big deal because I lived on my own for years before I ever got married. So, you know, I was kind of used to doing that stuff already. And if you're married to somebody who's kind of dead weight and they don't really do anything anyway, you know, like say, all hypothetically, they were expected to start paying child support for their other kids, so they quit their job and only worked for cash when they wanted spending money and expected you to pay for everything, hypothetically, of course. If you're married to somebody like that, getting rid of them may be a welcome, it may be a blessed relief. Not that I would know or anything, but anyway, you may be responsible for doing a whole bunch of shit you never had to do before, and that may be a bigger shock than you're anticipating. So just know that if you were with somebody and they were taking care of stuff and they no longer are, that is now going to fall on you from here on out. So I'm not saying that to be a Debbie Downer. I'm just saying that may be something that you're going to have to plan for going forward. That's really all I know to tell you. I am not like some expert on anything. Like I say, I'm a goober on the internet, you know, and like every other single parent, you know, I'm doing what I can. I'm doing the best I can. I'm not perfect, but you know what? Kids who have two parents, their parents aren't perfect either. Don't beat yourself up too much. And that's all I got, but I gotta go. But thank you so much for sitting in my cup holder and listening to me. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you again soon.